Good morning, guys. Well, as you saw, it was pouring this morning. Right now we're at a light sprinkle, not too bad. So I'm taking this opportunity while the rain is slowed down a little bit. Still have some thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm sure more rain is coming in. So I'm taking the opportunity to go check on all of our animals, make sure everybody's all set. And then, because of the rain, markets did get canceled today. So I'm going to take that opportunity to preserve some of the produce that I have. I have a bunch of cucumbers, and I plan on making some sweet relish today. I have some dill relish that I've made previous, but we need to work on the sweet relish so that I can put some of that in my pantry. All right, so let's go check on all those animals, and then we'll get back inside and work on some relish. Hey girl, you got any eggs under there? Come on, give them up. Alright guys, I made it up to the front because I need to go to the other side of the property to check on our meat birds. But I went to go get the gorilla cart, and I'm going to show you how much rain we got. This thing is full. Look at that. We've gotten a substantial amount of rain just in a short while. I think I was woken up by, I don't know, 4 o'clock this morning with it really pounding on the trailer. But yeah, so that's how much rain we got. So they did send out a flood warning. So I'm sure that some of the roads may be flooded out. Usually our culvert gets flooded. But that was a lot of rain this morning. All right, so I'm gonna head over and get the meat chickens all set. meat birds look good, but I can tell that some of them weren't as smart as others, and some of them are a little wet. I don't know if they were laying in the mud, but because it's not cold out, I'm not too concerned. I think everybody should be okay. We'll check back on them later on this afternoon, but they got enough feed, they got enough water, and they should be good for the day. It has started coming down again, so I'm gonna head back. Well, I found myself in the greenhouse because on the way back I realized that I need to harvest some celery and some green pepper for my relish. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll head back. So if you've seen our last video that I made, I showed you a pepper plant that had been totally eaten by a hornworm. It has recovered, no more pest problems, and I actually have new growth on the plant, so it's looking pretty good. This plant right here, it's got some new leaves on it, some flowers, some peppers starting to form. So pretty happy with that. I come out here just about every day, if not every day, sometimes twice a day, and check everything out, but you just never know. It only takes a few hours and a hornworm can eat your whole plant. All right, so I have my harvest of peppers and celery. Some of my peppers are a little bit smaller, but picked what I could so that I could get the 4 cups that I need of peppers. Alright guys, now that I have all of my cucumber processed and chopped up, we have it in this bowl. So what's going to happen now is I need to put the salt, sprinkle that on top of the cucumber, just like that. And this needs to sit with the salt on it for 2 hours. So we're going to put this aside and let this sit, and while I'm waiting, I'm going to cut up the rest of my vegetables. So I have green pepper, red pepper, onion, and celery that I need to cut up. But also I wanted to get back to the cucumber. We had a really hard time with cucumbers this year. Just like our squash, the cucumber beetles kind of took over. They didn't do as well, and we didn't get that great of a harvest. But thanks to our friends Rich and Ann, they have been sharing their cucumber harvest with us. So that allows us to put a little bit more into our pantry. So thank you again, Ann and Rich. Much appreciated. I will make good use of all these cucumbers. Those are my sleepy dogs on a rainy day. They're not doing very much, not even moving around. Actually, both passed out.
On my own, but I don't know why you hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to call me back, 'cause I won't be there. I won't look back when you're around.
now that I have all of my vegetables chopped up and they are in the pot, let's take a look. So this is red pepper, green pepper, onion, and celery. Alright, so the next step for me is to take our cucumber that has been soaking and strain it out. We are going to strain it, run some water through it, cold water, and squeeze it to rinse it all out, rinse all that salt off. This salt helps with getting out most of the moisture out of the cucumber, but it also gets the cucumber ready to put in the pot for the relish. Now, as you saw, I use my food processor for most of the chopping because it gets that fine texture that you're looking for, and I'll show you guys when I rinse the cucumber how fine those pieces are, and that's what you really want for relish.
I don't know why she told me it's not your fault, but you don't realize that
So, see how fine that texture is of cucumber? Like, those are really small pieces. Now, you can do this with a knife, but it takes a long time. And the best way to do this is to run the cold water through and pretty much run your hands through it. And this also allows me to take out like any bigger chunks that I find. So as I'm rinsing, so once you feel that it's been rinsed off enough with the cold water, you're going to take and turn the water off and then squeeze this excess water out. I mean, it's cucumber. You're never going to get all the water out. But what I like to do is get as much out like that, and then I pick up the strainer and try to press it out a little bit. Not too hard. You don't want to lose a lot of your cucumber. That's why I use a fine mesh strainer. Alright, I got the rest of my ingredients together, so we're going to add in our cucumber. We have vinegar, sugar, and then we have our celery seed and some mustard seed. Alright, so we're going to stir this all up and we're going to bring it up to a boil. And while I'm waiting for it to boil, I need to go get my jars in the canner because this is going to take a little while to come up. Can you guys see that? It already resembles relish, but it will get a little bit thicker when you bring it up to a boil, and then you let it gently boil for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready to put in the jars. Alright, so this does seem like a long process, and there is a lot of steps to it. But you have to kind of weigh your options. Now, once I do this, this will give us relish for the rest of the year until next year, which is great because I use relish just not on hamburgers and hot dogs. I use it in my salads. So it does come in handy and you don't have to go buy it. So the process for me, although it is time consuming, it is worth it. Alright guys, jars are finally in the canner, and while those are processing, I thought you guys would like to see the sun has finally come out. Thank goodness, because I was getting sick of that rain. We got enough rain to last us 2 weeks. Our garden is plenty watered, but everything looks pretty good out here. We do have a lot of water on the plastic, which is covering our house foundation, so it's well protected, but there's a lot of water buildup on there. So overall, the relish isn't that bad. It is time consuming, like I said, but it took me probably about 4.5 hours. Now mind you, that doesn't include cleanup. I still have plenty of dishes to do, and all the leftover produce, the scraps, those will go to the chickens, except for the celery leaves that I use to dehydrate and make celery powder out of. So essentially nothing does go to waste, because it gives our chickens some scraps to eat, and they really enjoy them. They like picking out all the seeds. And then they peck at the cucumber ends. So, and they really like peppers. Alright guys, so the relish has finished processing, and I ended up with 7 jars, 6 that I processed, and 1 that I have for us to put in the fridge as soon as it cools, and then we can use it right away. Wanted to show you guys, this is what the relish looks like. It comes out nice and thick, and this is still warm, and once I put it in the refrigerator, it'll be even thicker and ready to use on anything you want. Now again, this is a sweet relish, so I tend to use it on my hamburgers, and I use it in my salads. Again, I know that this is a long process, and a lot of people don't want to go through that trouble, but there is a satisfaction in knowing that you make your own relish without preservatives, and we'll have it throughout the winter. So this is a great substitute for us versus going to the grocery store. Alright guys, I'm gonna get stuff cleaned up, and I also have a big market tomorrow, so I need to do a harvest later on. It is quite humid out right now, so it's a little sticky. I'll probably wait until later on, but like I said, I gotta clean up and I gotta do some more domestics in the meantime. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to share our videos. It really does help us out. And thanks again for all your support and following along with our journey. It does mean a lot, and it keeps us motivated to get all your comments. So I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.